Hi, today we'll learn how to add various constraints in our Firebird database, like uniqueness constraint, foreign keys, and how to automatically generate the ID as it is same as the auto number in Access. So let's say we have to create a database that needs to have three tables: vendor table, client table, and MEDE. Vendor table is simply a vendor. It has one ID, and this ID should be auto-generated, auto ID from Access or whatever. Code is a unique ID. It means that must be unique. Either we can set it as a primary key. In this way, that would always be unique, and there would be no duplication in the values. Or we can make this field a unique field, and there's the company name. And similarly, in the second table, the clients table, there's one unique field, that is ncpdp, that is store number of any number assigned to store specific number. And then there is another unique field, npi, and then there is code. Now this code field relates this client table with this vendor code table. The code value present in vendor table behaves as a foreign key in this client table. So this field identifies that this client is related to a specific vendor. And then there is a store name, and then there is a file that is a billing sort of file sent by the MD a server. So it has NABP. It is similar, this field is similar to NPI number. And bin is plan ID, that is MD-on's own ID. Then there is plan host, the name of the plan name, and the quantity, the number of transactions the client have sent, and there is the code. And now this code is same as the vendor table. So we have already created a database, and let me show you how to register or add an already created database in our Flame Robin. Simply go to database, click here, and click on register existing database. Last time we have created a new database, but this time we have already created a database to save time. So we'll simply import it or register it with our Flame Robin. So here's the new dialog box appeared for register existing database. Just give it a name. For example, we'll give it a name, MEDE, that's the name. So here is the dialog box for providing the details of the database that we want to attach with the Flame Robin. So just give it a display name, that is, let's see, give it MEDE, and we have to select the database path where the database file resides. Click on the browse button and select the database. We have stored current the database on our H drive, and its name is mede.ftb. So here is the database file. Let me select it and click open. Now we have to give the username and the password, and the username is default one, sysdba, and the password is master key or whatever the username and password you have set. Click on save. And now you can see MEDE here. Right click on the MEDE and click connect. It will now connect with the database, and now we can see all the details of the database. Okay, here is now the details of the MEDE, and now we can see that we already have created three tables, and that is TBL vendor, TBL MEDE, and TBL client. So let's have a look at the details of the table. Now our vendor table, the ID should be an auto-generated number, code must be unique, and the company is the name of vendor. So let's have a look at the table details. So first of all, we want to see that what our tables already have. Now it has a company field, code field, that is varchar 3, and then we have ID field, that is integer and it's not null. And we can see that this ID is also a primary key. So let's try to insert some data in TBL vendor. As the application demand that ID field should be auto generated, but let's check whether it's auto generated or not. Give any value, like the code might be ABC, and the company name can be XYZ. Let's try to run it, and we will see that it will give us an error because we have not created the ID field as auto-generated, so it requires an ID field because it's a not null and primary key value. So let's go and learn how to create an auto-generated field, or how to make a field to generate the numbers automatically. Open the TBL vendor definition, table definition. Click on the edit ID field. Now we can see here create new generator. So we select create new generator, as we don't have already we already don't have any generators. And we will also create a trigger. A trigger is a self-contained routine in Firebird that can be attached to any view or table to perform a specific task. So we want to create a trigger that can generate an automatic ID every time on insertion of every new field in our TBL vendor table. So let's click on execute, and you can see that it has been executed successfully, and click on commit button, and now we have a new trigger attached with our TBL vendor to create for auto generation of ID. So let's go to the same table that we were trying to insert. So let's try to insert these values again. Alright, run it, and we can see that now it has inserted the values, and we can run it and commit the changes, and we can run it again without any change. Commit it again. Now let's go and have a look at the select query. Right click on the table vendor and select query, select form. So here we can see that we already have two values, code ABCXYZ, code ABCXYZ, and the IDs are 1 and 2 that are auto-generated IDs. Okay, now here comes another problem. As we discussed, that our code field must be unique. So there are two ways, as we discussed before. Either we can make it as a primary key, or we can make it as unique. So let's make this field a unique field. Again, click on the TBL vendor table definition, and I think we already have it here, and click. Now go to the constraints, but before that, because it will give us an error, let's delete the duplicate entry. So it's very easy to delete a field or edit a field in Firebird. Just select the row that you want to delete and click here, delete rows, and the rows will be deleted, and when you will commit, the rows will get deleted. So if you see now we only have one field. So let's now create a constraint. Uniqueness can be defined using a constraint, and you can see here add unique. Click on add unique, and here it asks us for a constraint name. Let's give it any name. Click OK, and now you have to select which field you want to make unique. So we'll select code field. We want code field to be unique. Click OK, and it has been, and commit. Now if we want to insert, let's select query, let's go for insert. Right click here and click insert into, and now let's try to insert the same data as we already have in the code table, that is ABC. So let's delete the ID field because it would be auto generated. And in the code we can write the same as ABC and the company as XYZ. Now let's run it, and now you can see here is an error: invalid insert or update values. Object columns are constraints. No two tables can have duplicate column values. No two table rows can have duplicate columns, because now we have created this value, the code one, as unique. So every value in new row must be unique. So let it a different value, ABD, and run it. And now one row has inserted. Click on commit table. Now let's go for the select query. Select from, and now we can see that we now have two different values, one ABC and the other ABD. We have deleted some values, and we can also insert that. That's why the ID is 5, otherwise it should be 2, 3, 4. So as many times we'll try to run the query, the auto generated number is will be increased. We can also insert new rows from here. Click on this button, and now you can see that the special there is a generator field. We can give a value here like XC or whatever you want, and you can give any value here, company. Click insert, and you can see now that a new value has been inserted. And it's quite simple to add to make a field auto generated, and also to add the uniqueness constraints. Now Now we want to add the foreign key, or how to learn how we can add the foreign key constraints, like how to connect two tables. So we know that the TBL client has a field named as code field that is actually a foreign key from the vendor table. So here it is the code key. So just go to constraints, click on the constraints and click on add foreign key. Just give any name to the foreign key constraint, click OK, and now we need to select which field in this table that we are working on TBL client we want to make as a foreign key. So that is the code field, click OK. Now we need to select that what is the source of the key, what is the main table from where the key the data fields value come. That is actually the TBL vendor. Click on the TBL vendor, click OK, and now we need to select the field from the source or the main table or the primary table, and that is the code. Click OK, and now we need to define that if something in the main or primary table, that is table TBL vendor, if the value of the code field in the TBL vendor or the primary table is changed, what should happen to the field in the secondary or the foreign table, that is TBL client. So we want to make it as cascade. So whatever the changes are made in the main table, that would be translated, or that will also occur in the destination or secondary table, that is TBL client. And similarly, what should happen if a delete action occurs at the main table? Again, we make it as cascade. So if any of the field code field or any of the row that has been referred in TBL client, if that is removed from the source table, that's TBL vendor, all the rows that contains that specific deleted code in the TBL client, all of them would be deleted automatically. So now we can see that it has created a constraint foreign key. Click on commit, and now you can see that a foreign key has been added to our TBL client. Now let's go and try to insert some data into TBL client. And we can easily do it by using selecting the select query and then clicking on insert. And as we can see, we don't have any data in the TBL client. Click on the add new row button, and as we have not created this ID as auto generated, so we need to give some value. Let's give it a value 1, and NABP we can give any value like ABC, and similarly you can give any value to ZXC, any value. And now this code is a foreign key that must be present in the source or primary table, that is TBL vendor. So let's try to give any other value, like say give AAA, and then give store any value. And if we try to insert these values, you'll see that it has given us an error because of the foreign key constraint, because the value we wanted to insert it in the code field, that is AAA. There was no AAA code in the TBL vendor, but we remember that we have XYZ code here. So if we will change the code field to XYZ and then try to insert it, oh sorry, it was not XYZ, it was actually ABC. So let's give it a value ABC and now try to insert it. And now you have seen that the value is successful, row is successfully entered into the database. So let's commit it and we are done. So today we learned how to add a uniqueness constraint, how to make a field auto-generated field, and how to create the foreign keys or the relationships. So in the next video we'll be gonna learn how to interact with Firebird database using C# or any .NET compliant. Thank you very much.